Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for this latest virtual event here at the University of California, Merced. We are thrilled that you could join us for Become a Bobcat, a virtual series. My name is Ricky Hill, and I'm an e-recruiter and engagement specialist here at UC Merced. Tonight, our event will be focused on the School of Social Sciences, Humanities, and Arts, or we also refer to them as SHA. Before we get started with this event, let me go ahead and just give you a brief little bit of information about what Become a Bobcat, a virtual series, entails. Become a Bobcat has to do with 40 different events that we will be coming to you live, just like this one here tonight. You will have the opportunity to explore our campus through virtual and drive-through tours, which we will discuss a bit more later in this event. You and your family will be able to learn more about our academics, our course offerings, all of the student services that we offer, as well as listening to some of your fellow Bobcats on student panels. We will also be offering you live question and answer sessions in every one of those Become a Bobcat virtual series opportunities. For tonight's event, as I said, this one happens to be focused on the School of Social Sciences, Humanities, and Arts. Let me give you a couple of quick tips before we get started with our overview. If you'd like to adjust your audio settings, you can do that in the lower left corner of your screen by clicking Audio Settings. If you would like to adjust the size of your window, you can do that by clicking View Options in the upper portion of your screen. Also, we would love to hear from you tonight with your questions. Feel free to click on the Q&A button at the lower portion of your screen. Send us your questions and we will be answering those behind the scenes as well as during a live question and answer session at the end of this event. Once again, tonight we will be focused on the School of Social Sciences, Humanities, and Arts. This is an information session. As a quick overview to this event, as you see on your screen, we will be discussing the SHA mission and the vision. Also, we will be giving you information for why should you get a degree in SHA here at University of California, Merced. We also will be giving you some great info from our expert panelists regarding departments and programs, student opportunities and experiences, and once again, that Q&A opportunity at the end. Once again, this has become a Bobcat, a virtual series. At this time, I would like to hand things over to my great colleague, Dean Gilger.
Thank you, Ricky, so much. I'm Jeff Gilger. I'm Dean of the school, and it's a pleasure to be here. I do so much wish that we could be in person. I'm sure you probably hear that a lot, but all of us on campus really are looking forward to fall. Our plan is to be on campus in fall. And in fact, if you take a look, there'll be some more information on the website at our campus for you to see what's going on in fall and other stuff coming up in terms of additional Bobcat videos will be sent out or be available about fall and transitions in fall coming up soon. COVID has really struck everyone hard, but in different ways, perhaps. Our faculty have really proven themselves to be people that really care about our students. Lots of times we say we care, but they really proved the fact that they work hard, extra hard to take care of our students. Many students say in spite of COVID, even though stuff's remote, they've had a good experience. We still provide services to students, whether you're on campus or not. But again, back to campus, back to Merced and fall is our objective. Before I jump into the next slide, I just wanted to have you pause for a moment and kind of ask yourself, why are you here tonight? What is it that you want to get out of college? Why would you think about UC Merced in particular? Where do you want to go in the future? They're important questions and there are things to think about. So, there are different kinds of students. I've seen them throughout my career. There are those that have a clear pathway and they know exactly what they want to do. So they jump into their major and they just take off like crazy and they graduate and they go on to do great things. There are others, though, that are a little less sure. Sometimes they call themselves undeclared majors. Sometimes they come to campus thinking they're a major and then they switch. Those things are all fine to do. It's okay to be undeclared. It's okay to not know exactly what you want to do over the next 4 years. Lots of people change majors. College is an opportunity to explore the world, explore yourself, and figure out is what you want to do. So don't think that you have to be all set to go. I know careers and making money matters to a lot of people, but also college can just be fun. It gives you an opportunity to learn things and think about things and check into stuff that you wouldn't have checked into otherwise. Our campus is the new UC campus. It's the newest UC campus. We are the smallest UC campus. I will tell you, however, that compared to all the other UC campuses when they started, we have grown quicker, faster, done more research, hired more faculty, taught more students than any other UC campus has before. So we're doing really well. I mentioned the question about why would you come to UC Merced? Let me just tell you a couple of things about why UC Merced is a bit different. We are small, like I said, and we do things differently here than the other UCs do. For one, because we're small, we take extra great care and interest in our students. In some ways, it's almost like being in a private college. We have many opportunities here I'll talk about in a second in terms of research. But more specifically about SHA is you have a wonderful, diverse set of faculty. And this is diversity in terms of intellectual thought, discipline, as well as things like ethnicity and race and gender that are our professors. We are the most diverse school on campus, both in discipline and also in ethnicity. We are the biggest school on campus with the most students and the most faculty. We do a lot of stuff. Anne and Brenda are going to talk to you about what our majors are and the different kinds of stuff we have available to you. A lot going on here. But if you throw everything into a pot and ask what SHA is, it's right there in front of you in the bold blue part. Everyone in SHA in some way, to some extent, on their own or in collaboration with others, does work that explores and explains the past and present human condition. So it could be something like in public health, where they study the effects of nutrition on health. It could be something like the historians studying the slave trade and in Africa back in the 1800s. It could be people that are studying archaeology, measuring bones, doing analysis on bone and DNA data to tell them about our ancestors. Let me tell you a little bit. So research is a big deal on our campus. In fact, one of the things we all talk about is how we are kind of the UC undergraduate research campus. So for example, in my lab, I've had probably over 50 different students at some time. Many of those have gone on to graduate schools or gone on to jobs. But we really connect with our students, and it's really one of our initiatives on our strategic plan. Explicitly, we're doing our strategic plan now. We actually say that we want to be an undergraduate research institution. So we will have infrastructures here for you to engage with professors, opportunities to work with historians, biologists, you name it. We're going to make those opportunities available to you. And you get to know your faculty pretty well. Because we are small, you'll walk past your faculty every day on campus. You'll be able to see them certainly in office hours, but you also have these other more intimate exchanges that can happen on this campus that can't happen as well on campuses like UCLA and Berkeley. We hope, many of us do, that we're going to stay a small campus to keep that kind of social atmosphere up and opportunities. But if you come here, as I said, you do have opportunities for things like research, independent study. There are volunteer programs, community service work, community engagement work. You can go work off in the basic laboratory. You can study the brain. You can even share authorship on publications. Many of our faculty do publications and do presentations with their students. I have done that myself. And what you're going to do is get an extended understanding of an area. So if you're a psychology major and you work in a lab in psychology, that takes you beyond just sitting in a class. It's really more experiential and something I think is highly valuable. Anne and Brenda are going to talk a bit about careers, but whatever you're going to do, know that an education in SHA is broad enough and strong enough that it will prepare you for a number of things you might not have thought about, including health services, medicine, law, working in electronics companies, you name it. We do a lot of stuff. You're going to come out with an ability to think and be critical. You're going to be exposed to a diverse number of ideas, and that's really what college is all about. And you'll see me, and you get to come say hi to me. And we're very open up there, Brenda and Anne up in the Dean Suite. So we'll be looking forward to seeing you next year. And I'm going to let Anne and Brenda take over next and talk to you a little bit about the specifics of what our school has to offer. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anne Zanzuki. I'm the Associate Dean in SHA, and my area is academics and student services. So I have a chance to work closely with faculty and students in our school. We're really glad to see you this evening. We're looking forward to question and answers, and we plan on making this as interactive as possible. So thanks for joining us. For this second part of the presentation, I'll start to tell you a little bit about our departments, and then my colleague Brenda will introduce herself and tell us a little bit about student experiences and academic advising. So you'll see in the next slide that our school has a wide array of departments and programs. We have 13 majors, and some of our most popular minor degree programs are in psychology, sociology, and Spanish. As Jeff emphasized, we have a lot of undergraduate research opportunities that we'll make sure to talk about in greater depth in the upcoming slides. And I noticed there's a few questions about what distinguishes our campus from CSU's. So I wanted to mention something quickly while we're on the department and program page, that when I think about research universities and UC Merced in particular, what students really gain as an experience is an opportunity to inquire about things, to discover ideas, and to explore. And that's really the big mission of research universities with working with undergrads, is to provide those kinds of opportunities. And one really exciting thing about our school is that we have a diverse array of courses and degree programs, which really gives students opportunities to explore all kinds of scholarly subjects. So in our next slide, this is sort of a bigger picture of our school. So SHA has awarded nearly 6,000 degrees since campus started. As I mentioned, we have 13 major degree programs, which is a really wide scope. Right now, we're serving 3,600 students in our major degree programs and 600 students with minor degrees. Our school is quite diverse. We have the highest percentage of students who are first in their family to attend college. And we offer a lot of events and programs to really engage students in community building and connections with their departments. So the next slide is going to shift towards a focus on student experiences and opportunities, which starts to unpack what you saw with the degree programs and connect them towards discussion of careers, student experiences, co-curricular and extracurricular experiences. So Brenda is going to share with us a little bit about that, and then the both of us will cover a couple of details. So Brenda.
Thank you, Anne. Hi, everyone. My name is Brenda Maldonado Rosas, and I'm the Director for Student Services for the School of Social Sciences, Humanities, and Arts. As Anne mentioned, I'll be providing some information in terms of how we support students through their academic journey at UC Merced, specifically in SHA, as well as some opportunities that are available to our students. So students receive academic advising support via our professional academic advising staff, as well as our student peer mentors. We assist students with the planning and course selection of their degrees, not only for current semesters, but also upcoming semesters, and as well as long-term planning. So we assist with the mapping out of their degree requirements to ensure that students are aware of their degree requirements, as well as about how long it will take them to complete their major, minors, and even double majors. We also assist with the selection of those majors and minors. Oftentimes, students may come into the university setting thinking they're going to major in one area, but upon taking coursework at the institution, they become passionate about in a new area. So we assist with that major exploration aspect that many students go through. We also provide information on relevant campus policies and deadlines to ensure that students stay on track and are aware of that important information. We also provide advice and planning during times of academic difficulty. As we've all experienced this past year, life can throw us some curveballs. So we assist students during those difficult times and refer them to different resources available to them with our university so that we can support them the best that we can during their academic journey. We also provide workshops on registration and other important topics as needed throughout the semesters and the academic years. And like I mentioned, we also refer students to different campus or community resources to ensure that they are aware of all the support that is available to them. As students, you're able to take advantage of different special programs to assist you with expanding your experience and knowledge outside of the classroom. Some of those programs involve honors programs. Some of our majors have honors programs. So for example, English, history, psychology, political science. So their students are able to take advantage of that additional experience in the classroom in the university. Our students are also able to participate in internship programs through the University of California offers with Washington Center, which is in our nation's capital in DC, as well as the center in Sacramento. So students are able to take coursework that may apply to their degrees, as well as really take advantage of some very thoughtful, enriching internships to assist them with their long-term career goals. There's also internship opportunities in the local areas that students are able to obtain academic credit for, as well as partaking in the Education Abroad program. Again, students are able to be abroad for a semester or sometimes two, and take coursework that will apply towards their degree and really immerse themselves in that experience. They're able to also participate and assist our faculty with research experience, like Dean Gilger mentioned his lab earlier. The UROC program of our university also assists with that experience for our students. We also have a Center for Humanities, as well as Natural Sciences Education minor, which many of our SHA majors partake in and experience. So those are some examples of some special programs that our students partake in. Next, we'll be talking about other extracurricular experiences. Anne?
So there are quite a few student organizations that are affiliated with SHA, and we have different clusters and areas in which there are student organizations that are mentored by our faculty. Some of those are academic and professional societies that are directly linked to departments. We have a wide array of business and economics clubs and organizations that are in different areas of business management. And there's quite a bit of interest in law opportunities and civic engagement, including community engaged research. And so there's several student organizations dedicated to that. We also have historical and contemporary culture groups that are engaged in the local historical society, as well as a broader array of subjects. We have quite a few media and performance organizations on campus, representing a global array of geographies and cultures, and also a good number of public health and well-being organizations that are affiliated both with national societies as well as local initiatives. So one thing that our school developed in the past 2 years is something called SHA Frontline, which is the icon that's in the corner there. And it's a leadership organization of students from groups to convene and to advise our school, but also to organize events and to be resources to each other as leaders. We've looked at student data from surveys about their experiences with clubs and organizations, and students will often report that this is where they're learning quite a bit of professional skills, leadership abilities, and communication skills. So these are really important opportunities in connection to your degree programs to network with students and to connect with speakers and to really grow and learn all kinds of things affiliated with your professional interests. In the next slide, we'll talk a little more about professional interests. We have a partnership with Career Services directly in our school. And very recently, they launched something called Careers with SHA Degrees. This is a set of alumni panels that convene every month with students from our school who have gone on to work at nonprofits, industry, local organizations, and it's an informal panel to discuss professional opportunities and how the degree programs in SHA led to being well prepared for a variety of kinds of careers. So we have ongoing facilitated conversations with alumni that can really help you network with students and learn a little more about what the professional opportunities are in the future. Our campus also has a career and internship fair. And so there's dedicated support for students in our school to network and join a professional dinner to have resume reviews with people who are local business leaders in our community. So there's quite a bit of opportunity to grow and develop your career interests in SHA. This is a bit of a schematic here, and there are many, many career paths that come from our degree programs. I'd like to mention that one thing that Brenda's office has emphasized in partnership with the other schools are health career opportunities. And so you'll see, for example, a couple of health careers that are listed here from things that our students have gone on to do in the future. And it's just important to note that with degrees in our school, there's a variety of opportunities to go to medical school, nursing school, professional schools. So we have a lot of support for students who are interested in health careers to look at some non-STEM opportunities as a pathway. We'll dig in a little more into this slide in a bit, but this is just a little bit of a map of what our students have gone on to do. You may be wondering, well, what happens after graduation? It's pretty exciting. When students complete their degrees in our school, we have sent 1,500 students to graduate school, which is the largest percentage of graduate rates at our campus. Our students have aspirations, high aspirations, to go to graduate school or professional school at the start of their college degree. And it turns out that that same rate of interest in going on to graduate school is the pattern for students placing into school. So really what students aspire to do is very achievable and what happens with our degrees. Also, it's worth noting that students from our school have graduate degrees in professional schools and doctoral programs in a really wide array of areas, including fine arts, education, social work, and law. And social work and law are among some of the very popular outcomes of our degrees, just in case that's of interest to some of you in our audience tonight. So one more emphasis about after graduation in the next slide. We have a link that's featured here. See our featured students and alumni. We have an archive of featured students, and departments nominate students who are really exceptional every month. And there are short biographies about what students have been doing in their degree programs and special opportunities. It's a great way to really explore our school and to learn a little more about the student experience. So we'd encourage you to visit our website and take a look at our student tab, because we have a lot of detail about what both our alumni students are doing and also our current students in their department. So we have time for questions. We'll shift to that slide and open things up, and looking forward to the conversation.
Great. Thank you so much to all of our great presenters. I think I'd actually like to begin with one of our students. If Kim can come on to the screen, can you kick off our question and answer session by just giving us a little bit of a background as to why you chose UC Merced?
Yeah, of course. So my name's Kim. I'm currently a fourth year, so I'm finishing up my last semester here at UC Merced. I'm majoring in psychology with a minor in sociology. So the reason why I chose to come to UC Merced is I actually came on a campus tour, and just being on campus, I just instantly like kind of fell in love with the campus. It's a very beautiful campus, and what attracted me the most was how small it was. Because of how small it was, I saw there was a lot of opportunities for me to like grow, just like get close to my professors. Whereas if I would go to a bigger UC, I probably would be too intimidated to connect with my professors. I really liked how the class sizes here at UC Merced are very small. Usually there's like around 20 to 30 students in my discussion classrooms. So I really like that aspect, as well as the environment. Everybody's just really friendly, and I just felt really like at home. I'm originally like from Los Angeles area, so I was getting kind of homesick, but just being at UC Merced, I just instantly felt like it was like another family. I just love the environment of everyone. So
Thank you so much, Kim. And also I'd like to bring Yesenia on. She's our other student panelist that's with us during this event. And can you explain to us what drew you to your SHA major?
That's a really good question. I still want to like say that the whole idea of helping people was something that drew me to psychology. But I will say mostly was the whole idea of like the behavior, right? How people react, how people act. That's something that drew me in. Mostly because sometimes I'll react a certain way while others will react differently. So knowing that there's different reactions to certain situations kind of intrigued me, and knowing the how it works as well as how the brain works has always like gave me like some like curiosity. So and since I'm a curious person, I always like the whole idea that psychology gives me that little excitement and a little knowledge more about what psychology is.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. So the next question I will send out to our expert panelists. That question is, are there major specific counselors or academic advisors, or do we just have general SHA advisors for our students?
A little bit of both. Academic advising at UC Merced is unique in the UC system. So we're the only UC where first year students are all academically advised in the Bobcat Advising Center. So those that academic advisor is a student's academic advisor through the duration of their first year at UC Merced. Upon completing the first year, students are then assigned a school-specific academic advisor. So that will be your advisor throughout your time at UC Merced. So for SHA, advisors are assigned by a student's major. So the way we function is the academic advisor of a student within our school is based on what their major is within our school.
What makes the social science programs at UC Merced unique and better than those possibly offered at a CSU institution?
So personal history here, I grew up in California. I went to the Cal States, got my bachelor's degree and my first master's there. I can tell you that the Cal States do a wonderful job at teaching. They have a lot of excellent professors, and I'm very happy I went there. However, the difference is, if you were to come to a UC campus, you have active faculty that are doing research in real time. So you will have faculty up in front of the classroom when they're talking about a subject. They're actually just 10 minutes ago, they were researching that in their lab. They'll talk to you about the newest, most cutting edge kinds of things. They'll be kind of typically a little bit more up to date often than some of the really kind of niche sciences that deal with social science or niche humanities and arts. And so to me, the main difference, having grown up in Cal States and having been at a UC campus, both professors are great. But the ones that are different here is because they're very active writers and very active researchers, and they bring their new stuff, brand new stuff, firsthand experience to you in the classroom.
Wonderful. Thank you for that insight. The next question I'd like to ask our panel, can someone expand more on the Global Arts Studies program, specifically the music major and the minor?
I'm happy to jump in on that one. The Global Arts program is a comprehensive arts program. So it's a kind of program that brings together performance and music, art history, studio work, all in one place. with about 15 faculty who are part of that composite. We have a really amazing recent building that is dedicated both to the art and computational sciences. And there are some really cutting edge spaces for podcasting, music production, and several students from the arts program have concentrated on music careers. One thing that makes the arts program interesting is the attention to the global connection. And so the research expertise of the faculty and the student experiences are really focused on the cultural connections between arts and music and performance. So there's a lot of exploration of those intersections, which makes it a really distinctive and exciting program. So there's been quite a bit of local connections between the arts program and professional pathways. Their capstone experience is an internship experience, which has helped students make some connections for local professions. That's really exciting. So.
Wonderful, thank you. What makes the sociology program at UC Merced different than the sociology programs at other UC campuses?
Let me say this, sociology in SHA is really one of our strongest departments. They are doing a great deal of stuff recently. They've won a lot of awards, gotten lots of grants, doing a lot of great work. Then they're good people. The difference might be, again, a little bit of what I said before. We teach all the general classes you need for a sociology degree, just like you would get at a state school. But again, what you have there with you are people that are doing the actual research. They're writing the textbooks and the books you would read as a student. Some of our specialties in our sociology group are things dealing with disparities in education, the sociology of education. We have folks working on the sociology or sociological aspects of health and health disparities, quite a good cadre there as well. And so some of the specialties may be different here compared to Cal State's. We teach the general stuff, but again, you have people that are on campus here that actually write the books and publish the papers that your instructors use to teach you. It's a great thing. Hope you come to your sociologist, a great department.
Wonderful. So we have a little bit lengthier question coming in, so I'll read it exactly as it came through. I'm a history major, and I heard that UC Merced's history department is phenomenal when compared to other UCs. So first of all, thank you for the compliment. What makes it so great? And what are some of the internship opportunities that UC Merced may be able to offer to a history major?
So that's a great question, and thank you for the compliment to the history department. They are phenomenal. So a couple of things come to mind about student experiences with that degree program. They are early on as a department, they founded an undergraduate research journal that they support very heavily in partnership with their students. And they've had some excellent partnerships with our local community to develop authentic projects for students to explore and publish on. They also have a strong connection with something called UROC, which is the undergraduate research opportunity for students in the humanities. And so faculty from the history department have had teams of undergraduates working on, for example, Merced's Chinatown to document a lost history through tax records. So there's been really fascinating opportunities for students to work closely with graduate students and faculty in the history department to publish their work and to develop projects that are literally here in our community, very tangible and hands-on. So it's a great experience.
Great, thank you for that. And the next question I'd like to hand over to Brenda. Could a student major in psychology with an emphasis in pre-med?
Not with an emphasis in pre-med, but we do have many psychology majors working to fulfill pre-health requirements or requirements to go on into the medical, a medical field school. We at UC Merced, there's pre-health advising. So you can find more information at prehealth.ucmerced.edu. And within that website, you can actually see 4-year plans that incorporate not only psychology major requirements, but as well as pre-health courses. There are 2 pre-health academic advisors at UC Merced. So during your time at with our university, you would be working with your psychology major academic advisor to, again, make sure you're fulfilling your major requirements while simultaneously working with your pre-health advisor to ensure that you are satisfying the requirements for the medical field postgraduate school you're intending to attend.
Thank you, Brenda. Can you give our audience an idea of how alumni are performing after graduation?
I will say they're doing pretty well. We do track our alumni. In fact, we have some new initiatives for alumni going out hopefully soon. Also, I forgot to remind you, I wanted you all to be aware that we're going to put some videos up on the, what was it, the Bobcat Life site that will tell you more information about successes and things of our students, life at UCM. They're not going to be up now, but maybe check back next week and you can see those videos and hear people talk about what they do and why they did what they did after they graduated. We do keep statistics. You saw Anne mention something like 1,500 of our students have gone on to grad school. Our employment rates after the first year after leaving, I do not know that number off the top of my head, but I can tell you they're pretty much on par with other colleges, no big differences. So if you want specific numbers, we can try to get those for you. I'm not sure I would get those to you, but they may be on our website, or maybe Ricky can take that question and get some data for me to share with the people later.
Absolutely, thank you. And also just a quick reminder, the YouTube channel that Dean was referencing is for the admissions office, and it is at Life at UC Merced. And we can go ahead and drop that link in the chat for you. The videos aren't quite up yet, but they will be in just the next day or two. So feel free to go there, find the playlist, and enjoy some viewing at your leisure. Do most of our courses in the SHA program, are they mostly taught by professors or by TA?
As a couple of distinctions, faculty do a majority of teaching at our campus and in our school. We're distinctive, for example, that writing is taught fully by faculty, and graduate students do play a really important part of teaching and are significant in terms of the learning experience for students in an undergraduate context. Often graduate students are teaching discussion sections to large lecture courses and are the first point of contact on all kinds of questions you might have. They're providing a lot of interactive learning opportunities, and they're facilitating your connection with faculty who you will also have a lot of contact with through lectures as well. So it's a composite, and both are great opportunities in terms of your learning experience, working both with graduate students and also with faculty.
Thank you. And I would like to invite part of our student panel back on screen. Kim, can you talk a little bit about what your plans are after you graduate? What type of career interests do you have?
Yeah, of course. So as I'm planning to graduate, I have been looking into several careers. One of the things that I like about psychology is you can like go into career and like whether that be therapy, social work, psychology, like an actual psychologist, like there's so many possibilities, counselor. But the one specifically that I have is I've been looking into social work. So I would either go to grad school for that and a major in social work, or another one I have recently become really interested in is teaching as well. And for that, I would just have to get my teaching credentials at any other college and just go on from there. So those are the two that I'm mainly looking into. But yeah, so that's a little bit about my career paths.
Thank you for that insight. And Yesenia, if you can rejoin, I'd like to get your insight on what type of advice you would offer an incoming or prospective student who is interested in one of the majors offered within SHA. What type of advice would you give them on how to select that major and how to transition smoothly?
I will advise students to look basically look at what you're interested in, mostly because that can help you a lot since you want to go into a major that if you find a career relating to that major that you gain, you will love. That's something that I kind of looked into when I was choosing my major. I knew I wanted to help someone, as well as I wanted to know that there's variety in the major I want to, since psychology does give me that. I like the fact that I can go into business as well as counseling, like Kim mentioned, therapy, education. So that's something I advise students to look into stuff that you will like and then work backwards in a way. So look at careers, and then after that, know what steps you need to take for you to get that to that place.
That is great advice. So you're always looking for that gainful employment first and then figuring out how to get to that point, right? Like you said, taking some steps backwards to figure that out. And of course, you always have the great expert advice from the academic advisors, as well as all of your great professors here on campus as well. So thank you for that insight. The next question I'd like to toss out to our expert panelists is, how does someone enter into the honors program for their respective major?
I can answer that. So generally, our honors programs occur either during a student's junior year or their fourth final year at UC Merced. There's an application process. Each of the honors programs do have a GPA requirement. You can find those specifics within our catalogs, catalog.ucmerced.edu. Within the School of Social Sciences section of the catalog, you will find a full list of our majors. For our majors, again, in English, history, political science, and psychology, the honors program requirements are at the bottom of each of the major pages. But it's a faculty-led application process, and there is a GPA requirement, and it varies by each of the different programs.
Great. Now, this next question has to do with study abroad. Someone is asking, can I attend a study abroad program in a country or city that's not listed on the website, or is it limited to the programs in the cities that are listed?
The possibility, to my knowledge, exists. There's I believe it's called International Opportunities Program that's available. You would want to work very closely with an advisor from the Study Abroad office to make sure that the university that you're considering attending would meet whatever requirements may be needed to be met. But I have seen a few, not a lot, but a few students participate in some university programs that are not part of the UC Education Abroad program.
Just to add to Brenda's response, Study Abroad has added traditional semester-long programs as well as shorter-term opportunities. So there's many ways to engage in study abroad at our campus.
Thank you so much for that. And this is a great opportunity for me to talk a little bit about the Become a Bobcat virtual series. And a programming note, we do actually have a session similar to this one coming up that is specific about study abroad. We will go ahead and drop that link into the chat so that you all can take a look. If it is of interest to you, please go ahead and take a moment to register for that live event. It is coming up on March 29th at 7 p.m. All of our Become a Bobcat events, or most if not all, are beginning at 7 p.m. in the evening. So take a look at that website, see what else we have coming up, and you just might find something there that's of interest to you. What career options are possible for a public health major?
Public health is a growing major on our campus. In fact, nationally, it's one of the top majors now that have popped up the past year or two. It's a very popular field. The career aspirations and the career promises for someone with a public health degree are one of the top in the field, top 10, maybe somewhere in the top 10, top 15. So it's a good program to go into. You can do all kinds of things. Some of our students end up working for the county health department. Some work as an epidemiologist for the state. Some go on to get PhDs and be researchers themselves or teachers themselves. Some study specific issues like the effects of poverty on health, the effects of psychology and inequities in our region and elsewhere, and how it affects health, mental health, as well as physical health. People do a lot of work also. One of our faculty members does work with insects and talks about how insects as vectors of disease affect our populations. A number of our faculty in public health are involved in COVID research. They've gotten some recent projects going, in part because COVID, but dealing with vaccines, population dynamics, how things spread in a population, what the effects are long-term, all that stuff is going on. So it's a good field. I encourage you to go into public health. We need more people, and we need especially people that are going to go on and do things in our area, in our region.
Thank you so much for that great insight again. How is the academic advising at UC Merced? Does the fact that we have a smaller student body, does that mean that students get a better or more supportive advising experience?
At UC Merced, the advisor to student ratio ranges between 300 to 600 students per academic advisor. Every student is assigned an academic advisor throughout their entire time at UC Merced. So a student will always have an academic advisor assigned to them. We do have some mandatory meetings that students have to complete to provide that, again, that additional support to assist students through their educational journey at UC Merced. We have some what we refer to as high peak times where we tend to be busier in traffic. So during those times, meetings can be a little more rushed. So we always recommend students to make it a point to meet with their academic advisor earlier on to avoid those high peak times so that they can get the best service possible and more dedicated time with them and their academic advisor.
Great, thank you so much for that. How can a student graduate earlier than 4 years, if that's even a possibility?
As one thought, summer session is a really important opportunity in terms of keeping to a degree plan. And recently, our school has partnered with summer session to offer a 2-year minor degree program. It was piloted by the psychology program, and we have several departments that are mapping out those options. So there are quite a bit of scholarships. Cal grants are available during the summer as well as Pell. So there's lots of ways to participate in summer session in ways that can help you with your degree completion. Working with your academic advisors can help with this as well. We have online tools that are part of mapping your degree plan. You can do what if scenarios to kind of see, can I also do a minor and complete everything in 4 years? There's actually quite a bit that's possible. So an early start with working with your advisor can help leave those options open.
Great. And the next question has to do with housing. So is there any type of specific living learning community that's available for SHA majors?
That's a work in progress and a really great question. Our campus is engaging in a dedicated refocus on living learning communities. We do have an opportunity for to explore some issues in terms of African American studies that has been piloted with our sociology program, and that's one contribution towards living learning communities. But definitely SHA wants to expand those opportunities, and it's something that needs to continue with planning with residency, but we'll see. There should be more in the near future.
Great. And can I have someone on the panel please describe the research opportunities for undergraduate psychology majors?
Thank you. Since I'm in the department, I guess I can answer that. So I mentioned that I myself have had a lot of students work with me over the years. I saw some other questions on here. Our psychology department is probably one of the best in a couple of key areas like quantitative psychology and health psychology. We have the largest quantitative psychology, or tied with the largest in the nation. And we have the largest health psychology program, I believe, in the nation, unless I miscounted. And we have a developmental psych program too, and they all work together. But you can do research with any of those folks. And I encourage you to go to the website, check out the psychology website, look at the faculty. Pretty soon, probably by the time you were to get here, we will have a searchable database for you to use for SHA. and you can put in keywords. And if you're interested in certain types of research or certain people, that'll come up on the screen. You'll know who to contact. You'll know what the opportunities are. We're actually building that right now as we speak. Otherwise, what you do is you contact professors directly, and they're all very open to talking with you. Some of them have forms to fill out, and you fill those forms out, and you see if you can get into their lab or do their research with them.
Very good. So we are getting close to wrapping up, so we will grab a couple more questions and squeeze those in here. So the next question is, how does the cognitive science program at UC Merced differ from what is available in other UCs?
I'm not a cognitive scientist. I don't fully get all the kind of boundaries in cognitive science and exactly what their curriculum covers. I can tell you a couple things though. I can tell you that our program got recently reviewed, past couple of years or so. It was reviewed quite highly by external reviewers. It's considered an up and growing, one of the top ones in the nation almost. It's got a cadre of people that do all sorts of things about the cognitive science of motor movement, the cognitive science of language and linguistics. They even have some philosophers in the group about theory of mind and things like that. One of the faculty member has an actual robot that he works on and tests on human-robot interactions. Many of those students go on to work for places like Google, other IT places. Some go on to get PhDs. Some of them go off and do basic brain research like at, what's the name of that institute? I can't forget, but I know one of them at least went there and did some MRI studies, brain scan studies, things like that. So the best thing again is to go to the website, go look at cognitive science. And if you have questions, contact Ricky's group or reach out to the chair of the department. They might be able to help you with that. And you'll hear more about it too. There'll be other opportunities to learn more specifics about the departments, especially those videos that are going to be coming up soon.
Very good. Thank you for that information. And actually, one of our friends is behind the scenes, Lainey. She's from our admissions office. She actually wanted to share a little bit of her insight as well with that major. Lainey?
Yes, thank you so much, Ricky. Yes, hello, everyone. My name is Lainey. I work for the Office of Admissions, and I am very excited. I was personally a cognitive science major in my undergraduate career, and I found that it was really applicable to so many different fields. You can connect it to engineering, you can connect it to psychology, you can connect it to robotics, linguistics. It really can be applied to so many variety of programs. I myself actually found a lot of connections between cognitive science and education and understanding how people learn and understanding specifically how people interact with computers and understanding the how human brains work and how computer quote unquote brains work. So it's really applicable to so many a variety of careers and fields. You can go into medicine, you can go into research. So I'd highly encourage you to look into it if you're someone who's not quite sure what you want to do in your future, but you want to have a background that allows you to be flexible and learn a lot of different skill sets to pursue your dreams and your career goals.
Thank you so much, Lainey. That was very helpful for our audience, I'm sure. All right, well, like I said, we are getting close to wrapping up. I would like to give our panelists an opportunity to offer any last words of advice or encouragement.
Really quick, we didn't talk much about English or some of the arts. We talked a little bit about that. I just want people to be aware that those programs are quite good here as well. We have events that go on all the time. We have some national collaborations dealing with fine arts, things like Shakespeare, plays, movies being made, well-known documentaries that our faculty create. So please explore those areas as well. And I'll pass this on to Ann next. I do hope you come. And I do hope to see you. And if you do, please make sure that you come by and say hi to us up in the Dean Suite. Ann?
Thanks, Jeff. I'll just add that our campus is one that is dynamic and growing, and it's a place that's really driven by the students who are part of our school. And so we're glad to speak with you. We really appreciate you being here this evening, and we hope you consider joining UC Merced and our school.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Great presentation as always, again, from the School of Social Sciences, Humanities, and Arts, part of our Become a Bobcat virtual series. A little bit about that series is that we do have over 40 events coming to you live, just like this one, over the next couple of months. Some of the topics that you'll be hearing about will include financial aid, how to understand your award letter, as well as the study abroad program that we mentioned earlier that's coming up in the next week or two. Please check out that website for more information and other events that you can register for. As I said, we do have over 40 events over the next couple of months, very insightful speakers that we will have, student panelists. You and your family will be able to explore our campus virtually. And that leads me to my next bit of information I'd like to share. We are so excited that we are able to bring to you the drive-through tour option. That is exactly what it sounds like, you guys. It is a drive-through tour. You get the opportunity to tour our beautiful campus from the comfort of your own vehicle with your family and friends in tow. We have many different tour stops that will offer you QR codes that you can scan so you can get more information about those areas of campus. One of my colleagues, if you could please just drop that link in the chat to the website where you can go and get registered and get more information about the dates and times that those drive-through tours are available. Once again, we thank you so much for joining us and sending us such wonderful questions and engagement during this Become a Bobcat event, the information session for the School of Social Sciences, Humanities, and the Arts. Thank you so much for joining us and have a wonderful evening.